Welcome to the Black Real Estate Voices podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Today, we have a special guest by the name of Mrs. Lanora Tolliver. How are you?
Hi, Kevin. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So, Lenore, tell us where are you from, what you do?
Okay. My name again is Lanora Tolliver. I am from the beautiful Windy City, Chicago, Illinois. And I am also here in representing my company. And you can see the name of my school. Well, it's over there somewhere. The name of my school. I am the enrollment manager for the Chicago Association of Realtors. I work in our education division as the enrollment manager, and the school's name is the REALTORS Real Estate School.
Gotcha. I got a question before we jump into it. I
Mhm.
heard something recently. I heard that people from Chicago really don't eat deep dish. Is
Um,
that true or not?
it depends. I eat deep dish, but if I order a pizza, I'm more apt not to order one. I
Gotcha.
would order a thin crust.
I heard somebody from Chicago say that that's for the tourist.
It really is, because you guys don't know any better. You just want to get here and try the pizza and White Castles and just, downtown area. So, but I can go both ways. It doesn't matter.
Got you. So, Lenora, what did you do before you got into real estate?
Prior to real estate, I worked in interior design and architecture. I worked in the marketing division for a well-known interior design architecture firm here in Illinois. And I was part of the marketing team for them.
Got you. And what got you into real estate?
What got me into real estate was I was attempting to purchase my first home, a personal home for myself. And I called the phone number, just somebody, I didn't even, this person was even referred to me. I just called the phone number and spoke with the gentleman and told him that I was interested in getting a house. I had been pre-approved and everything. So he took me around and he started showing me homes that I'm like, this is not for me. Like, it needed too much work or something of that nature. I told him what I wanted, but was also looking for him to kind of, consult with me and help me, guide me through the process. What I later learned was this gentleman was showing me properties where he would be termed a dual agent, meaning that he represented both the buyer and the seller, which also meant, AKA, he took all of the check home. So he had a best interest a vested interest, which was not mine. So when I learned what he was doing, I'm like, nope, I don't want to work with you. I'm good. I'll find my own home. Never purchased a home through him. And I said, hey, if he can do this, he can just show me anything and got mad because I didn't buy it. I can do this for others and do a better job. And ultimately got into the business after having that experience, and then started helping a friend who had already started the real estate journey before me. So the bug bit me, and 20 years later, I'm still here.
Wow, that's awesome. So, who are you currently with now? Do you own your own company or you own your own real estate school?
I don't own a real estate school. The school is a division of the Chicago Association of Realtors.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
am licensed, but my license is in a holding company with the association. I'm not permitted to represent clients because it's a conflict of interest due to the local real estate association that I work for.
Got you. So, what attracted me to wanting to interview with you was a topic that um, needs to be talked about in terms of agents getting with the brokerage.
Okay, the sponsoring brokers.
Yeah, sponsoring brokers.
Mhm.
What are what are some of the, I'm sure when you talk to people or in classes, what are some of the complaints you hear about not getting what they were supposed to from brokers?
Some of the complaints I think come about because the licensee themselves don't do their due diligence. They don't do their homework. I like to, and unfortunately, it's my way of us trying to figure this thing out. I often tell people when you're looking for a sponsoring broker, treat it as if you're dating or attempting to date someone on a dating app. Are you going to swipe left or right? Which one are you going to do? What are you looking for? Are you looking for the additional training? Are you looking for a mentor? Are you looking for the phone a friend? If you're filling out a contract for the first time on a Sunday evening at 5 o'clock, which is not a traditional work day, who's going to be your voice of reason, your lifeline? A lot of people, unfortunately, get into the business because they see a check and it's an opportunity to make some money. But the relationship between the licensee and the sponsoring broker is huge. So they don't select right at the very beginning.
Got you. So let me ask you a question. When you first got into the business, do you remember what the splits were?
Oh, Lord. I do. You won't ever forget your first split. Trust me.
What was yours?
Mine's at the time was 47.5% that I took home.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a franchise?
It was.
It was, okay. Now splits have changed drastically. What's a common split that you hear?
There will never be a common split because I work
Well,
for a real estate association, and due to antitrust laws, there is no such thing
Things
as
a
a
common
common
split.
split. Yeah. They
So
run the gamut.
the splits are higher now.
Yes. Now this was 20 years ago when I started, but
Right.
not that much of a difference from things that I've heard though. It really depends if there is an established company, and it could be a conglomerate or it could be a boutique shop. If that name or brand is out there already, you're paying for that. So your split is going to be affected by that because they've done all of the dirty work in a sense for you. They've established the name, they have a brick and mortar location or something of that nature. They have advertising and so on and so forth. So you don't take as much money home in those cases.
Got you. So I'm a new agent and I am looking for a sponsoring broker.
Mm-hmm.
What questions should I be asking besides what's my commission split?
What's the requirements? What are you looking for from me? Are they seeking you to be part-time or full-time? Or is that even an option to be part-time? Some companies, some sponsoring brokers want to know that you're fully invested and that you're producing and you're talking to people, and it's a relationship business and you're building those relationships. So they want to know, how committed to this are you? Are you full-time, part-time? Another thing that I think licensees should ask sponsoring brokers, are they in competition with them? Do the actual sponsoring broker, AKA, or the managing broker of that office also represent clients? Are they competing? Where does the leads go that come to that company? Are those leads disseminated amongst the top producers or anyone else in that office? We don't even need to talk about splits. Do I get a key to the front door? Maybe I don't have a copier or a printer at home and I can't print out or virtual access to things, and I need to be able to meet people for security purposes at a location that my sponsoring broker owns. Can I bring clients into the office? Can I close my deals with the title company and the closing companies at the office? So there's a bunch of questions, but those are usually the top ones that I come across.
Got you. So that's just asking the questions of what's required of you and what do I get? What questions should an agent be asking the broker in terms of support?
Support. I'm going to also reframe the question too, because in Illinois, we use broker managing broker. So
Gotcha.
it's
Okay.
equivalent to agent broker in other states.
Okay. All right.
So the questions that licensees should be asking other brokers about, say that question for me again.
So what's required of me as an agent is one thing. In the sponsoring broker, what should I be asking do I get from them? Meaning, if you're my sponsoring broker and I come to you, are you just going to let me go willy nilly? Or is there
Right.
some type of support that you provide to me? Or is there a system in place to plug and play where I have the support I need as a newbie?
Yeah, you want to know if you're going to be getting access to them
Okay.
and from them. You want to know, are there different tools in place, training that they're going to be providing? Will that managing broker actually be the trainer? Or are they going to invest back into the licensee and set them up with some type of skill building course? Because believe it or not, just because you get into real estate, it really doesn't mean that you have selling skills.
Right.
So it's really a conversation between the licensee and the actual broker. What are we expecting from you, and what are you expecting from us? Is that conversation.
Got you. How many companies you think a licensee should interview with before selecting a brokerage?
I say at least three.
Okay.
At least three, because two of them are going to sound exactly the same. So you want to, I would interview with the boutique, which is a smaller real estate office. I would interview with a larger firm, and I would also interview, because it's 2022. Let's look at the virtual offices as well.
Okay. All right. So once I've interviewed with the three brokerages, and let's say they all sound similar, what should I look at as the licensee as a determining factor of where I should go if it's all the same?
All things being equal, you got to feel from the gut at that
Okay.
point. um, Relationships in that office. Let's
Okay.
start looking at how many top producers are in that office. Ranking. Like, for example, at the Chicago Association of Realtors, the local association that I work for, every year we do a sales award. And it's an event that just all of our 17,000 plus members can attend to look at the rankings of the various member offices. So you want to know who are the people in these streets? Who are the people that are moving the merchandise, the buildings, the land, the commercial spaces? You The commercials that come on TV, the signs when you're driving up and down in an area that you want to consider as your farming, or the area that you're canvassing, how many signs do you see that have the same company name on them? So that helps me to better understand the amount of dollars that this company is putting in a particular neighborhood. And if that's the neighborhood where you want to work, you want to flood that neighborhood with your business name and signs. So we're looking for the touchy-feely stuff, but at the same time, the tangible stuff. You want to know, is there someone in that office that you can speak with? Not just the managing broker, because they're going to tell you what's great about their company. They're the managers, they're the hired individuals for their office. But can I speak to a top producer? Can I speak to someone else in this office that's going to give me an experience being a newly licensee or someone transferring from a different office? And it's between he or she and I, because they're going to be honest with me. They're not going to
Right.
tell me what the stats are for the company and this, that, and the other. Let me know about the training. Let me know about, how many people over here are standing here at the coffee in the water cooler just talking and really aren't closing any deals. That's a company I don't really want to be at, because you're worried about the flavors of the hazelnut and the white chocolate mocha. I want to know, is this property at 123 Main Street for sale? So it's an interaction, it's a gut feeling. I know for me, my first company, we had 180 agents at that time. in that one office. And I had people telling me, you're not going to make any money over there. Why would you go there? That's too many people in that office. Okay. I was rookie of the year for that year, my first year in the business, because I asked, who's the top producer? It's Rose. They had a bullpen where the new people who didn't have necessarily a desk per se, but you just needed to pull up somewhere and get paperwork done and get things done, you could sit in the bullpen. But the top producers would outline this glass office space with their various offices. So my goal was to get to a glass office because I wanted to be a top producer. Find out who the top producer is, and there was a desk right in front of her office. And I said at the time, my sponsoring broker, his name was Jim. I said, Jim, is this desk available? He said, yes. I said, I'll sit right here. Because now I have an opportunity, ear hustle, whatever you want to call it. I'm vibing. I'm watching her. I know things that she's doing because she has a system in place. Why reinvent the wheel? Get to know people in the office that are doing what you want to do and cultivate relationships at that office to be able to make the difference.
You said something that was key. How do I know what I want to do? Because we all know that when we get into the business, we want to make money, right? We do it to
Right.
make money. Whatever the passion is behind it, we want to make money.
Right.
And we really don't know because we've taken the course, however many hours it is in your state, but we don't know really what we want to do other than to make money.
Right.
But you have to, how do I figure out what I need to get me to where I want to go? What type of assessment should I be taking of myself?
What's your why?
Okay.
For me, my why was I never wanted anybody else to be treated as a dollar sign or not to be taken seriously like that gentleman that was showing me my first properties. My why was to get into the business. Uh-oh, my screen just went off. My why was to get into the business to help others. I wasn't worried about the money. I knew I would make some money. I just didn't know how much. But find out what your why is. And I always encourage my students and any other licensees that I communicate with, because I mentor people too, don't do this for money. If you could do real estate for free, do it. Because somebody's going to pay you. Because if you do it at a pace where you deem it to be considered free, you have more of a passion for it. It's not a job to you. You're going to show up and you're going to make the difference because somebody's been saving that money. Somebody has been working on that credit. Somebody has been doing the necessary steps to be able to change generations of their family. Sometimes when we do things for the dollar or for money, like you show up to work because you have to be there Monday through Friday from 9 till 5. Treat this a little differently and you'll find that real estate will treat you differently.
Wow. Wow. With that being said, let's take it to a different level.
Okay.
I'm no longer new. I've been in the game for a couple of years and I feel like I've reached my ceiling.
Right.
What does that seasoned agent ask themselves what they need, and then they can get to that conversation of figuring out if what company has it. Is that a fair assessment?
It is. I feel like you're just talking about my whole background in life in real estate. Because that I was met with that decision or faced with it. I loved that 180 agent office that I started in, but I got to a point where I was closing more deals and name recognition, and for lack of better words, I felt like I was arriving. I had
Okay.
not arrived, but I was arriving. I wanted to take more of my money home with me. So you remember that 47.5% that I started out with? I didn't want to keep getting that, but there was a scale. You close this much production, you get this much. You continue to close, you get that much. I didn't have time for all that. So I prayed about it. I talked over this decision because in my household, I had a husband. and a daughter at the time. So my husband and I talked about it because real estate for me was initial leap of faith. I was getting ready to make another leap. So just looking around, I did consult with a couple of other brokers, agents that were in my office at that time, and people were leaving. And I noticed a trend of folks that had started making money were leaving. So I started interviewing just like the first time to find those real estate offices that might be a better fit for where I was currently. So again, that dating analogy, pull that phone back out, start dating, put your new brand out there. Go ask the questions, maybe go interview 2, 3, 4 more real estate companies like you did the first time. Find out what they're doing different at that company versus where your current company is. Don't go in with all of the horror stories. My broker did this to me and said this to me, and the coffee, they never had any cream. Just delete that over there at the office where you are. I want you to paint a picture that you're going in new and improved. This is the fresh rebrand of Lanora or Kevin or whomever that person is. Go in and paint that picture of where you want to be. Does that company provide that? Are there additional training opportunities? Can they help you move towards management if that's what you want to do? Is there a different sector like property management, like commercial, doing more commercial transactions? Is that something that's a goal of yours that you want to do? Do they specialize in that? So if you want to grow, get you a sheet of paper, jot it down the middle, pros and cons. Write down what you want to accomplish, what you might necessarily feel that you don't bring to the table right now, or what you're not getting from your company. And those are your immediate questions that you're going to ask the new company.
Wow. Something just came to me. Is it a fair assessment to, let's say, Jefferson Real Estate is the franchise, right? But there's 2 separate Jefferson Real Estate offices in your immediate area, 2 different sponsoring brokers. Okay. Is it a fair assessment that you should interview with both, even though they have the same big name? So one could be Jefferson Real Estate Main Street, and then the other one could be Jefferson Real Estate Partners, but they're 2 different franchise owners. Is that something that people need to take a look at as well? Meaning, even though it's the same company name, people run their offices differently.
That's right. Yep. You took my answer. You took my answer. That's it. That's it. Yes, because in that example, I'm going to caution you.
Okay.
You know, folks talk.
Yes.
Did you know Lanora came over here to my office and she also went over here to the Jefferson Realty office and da 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 da? Because I do get a bunch of licensees that say, I don't want anybody to know that I'm looking. Okay, well, I don't want to be a secret broker either. And I'm doing this for me and mine. So it has to be the right fit for me. But yes, I would interview both. I would interview both to see what the big difference is.
Yeah, got you. What questions would you ask yourself if you had reached that pinnacle where, well, you were coming into your own and you started making a little bit more money, and it was to decide whether I go work for another brokerage or open up a brokerage?
Do I have enough experience up under my belt?
Okay.
Have I been through enough of the real estate seasons? You don't sell a home the same way in the summer that you would sell it in the wintertime, especially in Chicago, because we have to weatherproof. But you also want to know, have I spent and built up the clientele, the referral source to be able to step out on that and do that for myself? I know a lot of people that have opened up their own office, gotten the managing broker license, for example, here in Illinois, to do that. and they had no clue because they never sold a property. They never represented a buyer. But now you're responsible for every licensee up under your license who's going to come to you and say, how do I fill out this paper? How do I fill out this disclosure form? They teach you that in the class, but if you're not doing that enough times and getting the practice in, it's going to be hard for you to show somebody else. So have you mastered your trade is what I would ask myself that question. If you're ready to move from under the umbrella of a company to your own umbrella.
Should that be a question you ask your sponsoring broker? What was your level of success before you got into this?
I would simply ask them what was their level of success, yes, before they got into being a managing broker, and what did they do before they even got their license?
Okay.
Because some of them have been trainers, some of them have been managers in other sectors of business, and a lot of those skills are transferable. Now you have somebody who's already been a coach, may have techniques at training and techniques at helping you maximize your full potential. I need to know that. Because he has years of experience, but he may have only been or she may have only been a managing broker for a year, 2 years.
2 years. So since this is the Black Real Estate Voices.
What? No,
It
is.
The Black Real Estate Voices. How can we position ourselves to get into those management positions?
It's an old saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. Stop just taking the bare minimum, but you've got to position yourself in a way through education, through volunteering. We've got to give back some of our time or give up some of our time. You need to get a foot in the room. So if that means, for example, at the Chicago Association of Realtors, we have different committees that people can serve on. There's a grievance committee. There's a professional development committee. There's a committee for membership, so on and so forth. Volunteer. Get that experience, get the name recognition, for lack of better words, become a board member or something of that nature. Start finding out what's going on in your government area. We do coffee with the GADs, which are government elected officials every month, that we talk to them and find out how real estate or their position, how their position can help have us make a larger voice in real estate in the Chicagoland area. So when you're trying to figure out how to get in a position where it's more of us, we need to simply use our voices better. We need to learn how to pull from the left, from the right, behind us, bring in younger people. In the state of Illinois, 18-year-olds can now get a real estate license. Mentorship is huge in these areas. A lot of these, I call them babies because I'm older, but a lot of these young people probably have never had a job and don't have the skills that someone like myself at 47 years old have earned and developed over time. But if we can get them at that age and help pour into them and show them how this is what a budget is, this is what a contract is, these are statements that you need to know when this is how you dress and present yourself. Each one teach one.
Right. Which is the mentorship, since you talked about it. A lot of companies tote that as something they offer. But what questions should I be asking about the mentorship?
Who is the mentor and how long have they been doing it?
Right.
What
else?
Are they actively representing clients or producing? And if they are producing, what is the production amount that they did within the last 6 months to a year?
If you were an agent, which were you prefer? Someone who is producing or was producing and now they're strictly a mentor?
I want someone that's producing now, because they still have a plug into the outlet. And when I come with questions that, I should say, I would probably want somebody that's seasoned, that is currently doing more. Maybe they've been mentoring for a long period of time and they're still practicing, maybe even if they're not doing as much production. But I do want to know that they still have a way of connecting back to what's happening today. I haven't sold anything since 2008. I can't tell you anything about filling out, well, I can fill out contracts and things of that nature still today, but I can't tell you about how the different MLS systems and those types of programs related to social media and how it connect, and DocuSign and all that, and how that affects. We were still using paper back then. So I wouldn't be a good mentor to someone to tell them, hey, this is how you upload your contract, because I don't do that. So I would want someone that's in the business doing what I need to get done.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. What got you into your position from actually being a realtor to working with the real estate school?
I have an admissions background because I used to work for different universities and colleges. So my position technically as the enrollment manager, I started out as the education, I can't even remember what my old title was. It was like an education consultant or education representative. And basically my job was to just talk to anybody that called on the phone, had an interest in real estate, didn't know how to get licensed. Okay. I brought the best of both worlds. I brought the admission side because I can walk you through that process, but I also brought the licensed real estate broker agent side to it, because now I can pour into you and kind of tell you a lot more of what to expect, what you possibly are going to see on that exam, how to prepare for it. And then when you actually get in the business, what to do to keep your license, to make sure that you're building an actual brand for yourself. This position does not exist anywhere else. There's no enrollment manager for any real estate school, because I've searched, trust me, across the United States. It doesn't exist. So it was crafted just for me.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Do you have any parting words or any tidbits you'd like to share with someone who's looking to potentially switch companies or get into the business? Anything that we didn't touch on that you thought would be pertinent information for them?
I would say, just for anyone in general that may be thinking of a career, starting a career in real estate, staying in real estate, changing offices, so on and so forth, pay yourself first. The reason why I say pay yourself first, and I'm not speaking of just money, pay yourself first in good health, pay yourself first with your mental, because you wear a ton of hats in real estate. Pay yourself first with reinvesting back into you through education, through time off, because we are independent contractors. You're always going. There's always somebody who might be on an opposite schedule of yours, and you find you can't vacation, you can't go to family outings and things, or do those things with friends, because you're always working. You're always busy. When you're paying yourself, you're placing yourself as a priority, and you're making sure, if I have to go to another office to get what I need, will this be my last office? Will this office prepare me to maybe even start my own company? You're always looking at yourself first to see ultimately, how does it benefit you? Because if there's no benefit to it for you, don't do it. Don't move to that office. Don't get into the business. Don't get out of the business if that's the case. But pay yourself first.
Wow. You heard her. You heard it here first. Pay yourself
Pay
first.
yourself first.
Well, Lenore, this has been awesome. I think it's a topic that you don't hear much about. Hopefully, if you're a listener and you're in that situation, you found this to be valuable information. If you do so, do us a huge favor, like, subscribe, and even ask questions in the comments. You know, I read the comments, and if it's a question that Lenore needs to read, I will reach out to her and have her answer it for you. If anyone wants to get in contact with you, had questions about specific needs that they may have or questions, how can they reach you?
Yep, my email is right. I don't know what side I'm on, but the email is there.
Right there. Yep.
Definitely can email me. My phone number is area code 312-214-5513. I'm old school, so I'm going to repeat that twice. 312-214-5513. And they can also find me on Facebook and YouTube. I have a collection of videos and lives that I do on my channels, Lanora RRES. So Lanora for Realtors Real Estate School, Lanora RRES. Like, share, and follow.
Awesome. Like, share, and follow, please. This has been the Black Real Estate Voices podcast. Your host, Kevin Jefferson, Miss Lanora Tolliver. Have a great day. That makes a lot of sense. Um, in that, in those interviews, um, then how do I know which one to go with? Meaning,
Okay.
split's probably going to be about the same unless it's a larger conglomerate. You may have a franchising fee, right? Which makes the
Right.
split a little smaller,
Royalties.
right? Royalties. Um, what if they're all the same? Like, what other option do I have besides hearing the same spiel? Like, what other things could I do if broker A and broker B say the same thing, broker C is slightly different. Let me reframe that question because I want to make sure it comes across right. I'm gonna pause it for a second because I know what I want to say.